In this new and indie spotlight episode of Fictional Hangover, we talk about queer witches wielding a mortar and pestle, surprise body hair being a bad business plan, and supporting authors by pestering them with positivity, with author Shelly Page, whose first solo book, Brewed with Love, comes out January 14th.
Cool.
Yay, I'm so excited. We're joined by Shelly Page today, a new friend of the podcast. We're
Yay.
so excited to force new people to join us.
Is,
Hooray!
is this how we're starting 2025? Forcibly strong arming people to join us on the podcast.
Yes, yes, this is the beginning of the new year, and we are forcing new people to join us on the show. But
That's
you know
fair.
what? This is Shelley's first solo book. So like we got to do it. We got to talk about it.
That's
Although
Yeah.
exciting. That's exciting.
I just got to horror anthologies, that's us.
Mm-hmm.
That's our life. We love horror. So we're very excited. We were very excited to see what you have done before this book.
Mm-hmm.
We're very excited. And also now gay witches? Yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
like everything that Fictional Hangover is made of. So we love it.
I'm upset that bookshops don't actually have a specific section, Gear Witches,
I know.
Mm,
God.
they should.
Oh, oh,
because
we
a
would
witch is
be
better when they're
there.
queer.
Oh, everybody's better when they're queer. Claire,
I
come
mean,
on.
100% accurate, yes.
Oh, amazing. We're so excited. Oh, I can't wait for this book to come out. And it's tough for us because we at Fictional Hangover are made of spoilers and we can't spoil this one because it's not out yet
And we haven't physically read it yet.
because we would spoil it. We're bad
Exactly.
about that.
Yeah.
So, we just want to say welcome, Shelly. Thanks for joining us. We're so
Thanks for
excited that you're
having
here.
me. Yay.
So
I'm so
excited.
excited to be here. Just ignore my sleepy voice.
It's
But I am
That's
very
usually
fine.
mine. That's fine.
Fine. It's totally fine. So, first up, you have to tell us everything you can about Brewed with Love without being spoilery. What do you want everyone to know about it before they crack open the book?
Okay. So much. I'll give like a summation and then I think like kind of add my own little tidbits that I think will like sell the book that are not on the back copy.
Mm.
Okay. So Brood of Love is a YA contemporary romantasy about a teen witch named Sage Bishop who wants to keep her family apothecary from falling to the competition, which is like this big business, like massive apothecary in the next town over. And she can only do that with the help of her first crush, Jimena. So it's basically one part cozy mystery, one part second chance romance, and there's a bunch of different themes, but the big ones are the importance of community and like supporting small businesses and of course second chances. So it's set in Black Claw Valley, which is like a fictional town on the coast in California. And it's surrounded by redwood trees, and that's where the witches get their magic from. So they have forest magic and they can like brew different like brews and trinkets and can like create creams and all these like really fun things that they use to like sell at Bishop Brews and that they use every day. So it's like pretty fun, pretty cozy, very gay. Everyone's gay.
Yes.
Um
Yes.
Grandma's gay, everybody is having a time.
Oh, it sounds so good. And really, like I was saying, it's like right up our alley. So it's
Definitely.
it's right there. We're very excited. Um,
Yeah.
so one like we had to do some research about you before you came on since this is your first
Please.
time. We
Yeah.
don't know all of your secrets yet.
Mm.
So we had to snoop on your website and you go into a lot of like description and detail of like querying and getting to this point.
Hmm.
And you like give so many good tips and it's so amazing. But my favorite one is that you say that you have to have a one line hook. And so I need to know what your one line hook was.
Yeah.
Brewed with love. What was it?
So it's honestly it's on the back copy. It's Brewed with Love is a YA contemporary romantasy about a teen witch named Sage Bishop. Well, that's I've added that, but it's a teen witch who wants to keep her family apothecary from falling to the competition, but can only do so with the assistance of her first crush. So that is like the hook. That's like what the book's about in like one line. And I think I added that to my website because way back when there was like pitch events on Twitter and you can like, pitch your story and agents would like the pitch or editors. Like you needed that one line to kind of like, because Twitter has that word count. So like
Yeah.
you needed one line to like kind of garner interest and that's like the hook.
Yeah. Well, we were
Yeah.
sold. So good job.
Oh.
Definitely.
Success.
I
Oh
like the
man.
fact it's the X because you're like, oh, it's the X. Ooh, awkward.
No,
Oh, it's the
but
X.
then also like, oh,
Yeah.
yes. Oh,
I think it's fun because she's an ex, but also they're 17, so it's like an ex from like when they were young, like not
middle school ex, that doesn't mean
yeah, like
anything.
right, like middle school ex.
We got married at 9. It's legally binding in the
No,
schoolyard behind the bike sheds.
Okay.
no.
Only second
No.
chance romance.
Oh, um, I'm getting what's her name? Did you watch Agatha all along?
I did. I loved that. That was so great.
I'm getting what's her name? Jennifer? Jen? Um, the Green Witch who has her
Oh,
little shop and she does her videos online. Like,
yes,
I'm getting
literally.
those vibes.
That's the vibe of the book.
Ugh,
Yeah.
I'm so
And it's like a
excited.
black owned shop, so it's like it's perfect.
Ugh, it's gonna be so good. I can't wait to read it.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is your first solo. Your
Yes.
first solo book, and you've worked on horror anthologies, which I have spent the last couple of weeks reading all of the stories, and your
Oh,
stories
wish,
are so good, by the way. Like,
please.
oh my God, I fell in love with God now because they're all smushed together. The was it the one in the house? The Oh my God, I feel so stupid now because I was like fangirling it a little bit ago. Like I was so it was such a there was such a good twist in that story, and like she's like, oh, but I can't go out because it's the full moon and my grandmother's taught me all these things, and like I'm thinking, oh my God, she's a werewolf, she is gonna eat somebody, she's a rougarou, and then I was like, oh my God, she mentioned a rougarou, it's so great. um but then not, spoiler alert
Nope,
everyone, she was not a werewolf,
she's not
and
a werewolf.
that was
Yeah,
such a good
that's in
story.
Night of the Living Queers. The story's called Anna, and I really liked that one. That was a fun time. I liked the little twist at the end
Was so
there.
good. All of those stories were really good though. And did you edit
Yeah.
both of them or just one?
Just one, just Night of the Living Queers, and then Alex Brown, who's my co-editor, edited by herself, The House Where Death Lives.
Yeah,
How
so good.
difficult is it to actually edit an anthology, like to get all those contributors involved and, get your vision, like to get them on board with your vision? How difficult is that?
Yeah, I think like it's a lot of legwork up front, and I think that's like it's kind of like you have to know what you want to do when you go into it so that you can tell other people like, hey, I want to like write, I want to have a bunch of stories about this thing. And then it's like finding those people and like making sure that they understand what you're hoping the book looks like. And once you pitch an editor, they have their own ideas about what they think would be best to sell and market the book. So it's like you're constantly like tweaking, I guess, the premise. But thankfully everyone's stories I thought fit like really well with the theme and it worked out. But it's a lot to like kind of it's like a lot of emails, I guess. It's like a lot of like yeah, like emailing and I don't mind that, but it's like, hi, there's a deadline in like 2 days. Sorry, can you please send this? And it's like following up, you know. So I don't I felt like a manager, I guess a little bit. I don't know
Mm.
if that's how managers feel, but
What's it what's it like transitioning from editing and writing horror short stories to writing, queer witchiness? How did you make
yeah.
that jump?
I think like so I guess this isn't a spoiler, but Brood of Love used to be a thriller, and I got an R&R, which is like a revise and resubmit from the publisher that I'm with now. Um, and they wanted it to be a little bit like more lighthearted, more romantic, which I was like totally on board with. I felt like that was being easy like change for the story because it was an apothecary and it's in a small town and it's like it's like a similar story. It's just like was changing the vibe. Um, so the switch was like easier than I thought. I think like I've read a lot of like cute witchy romances. A lot of them were adult, but I think that's like the vibe they were going for, just YA. So if you've read like anything by Lana Harper, or like I think I'm just thinking of like The Wedding Witch, which just like came out. Um, anything like that. I think that's the vibe they're going for. So I was like, I know exactly what you're looking for, which was easy to kind of do. Um, but there were like some elements in the book that were a little bit scarier that I had to try to like pull back on. Um, I think that was probably like the hardest part, but also trying to be funny, and like more rom-commy was like not what I was used to doing. So it took a little bit of time to like try to find that voice, you know.
Did you leave any horror in? Or
Um, there are some, there's not any horror, but there are wolves in Black Claw Valley. So there are some, spookiness, I guess you could say,
mm,
but
okay.
You do like a supernatural element.
We do. We
I
do.
yeah, I'm a huge fan as well.
Are
But
you
yeah, there's no real horror.
okay? What's your sorry to keep going back to horror, but obsessed
Yeah,
with horror. What's your favorite type of horror story?
I love a ghost story. I really do.
Mm,
That's my favorite. Yeah,
mm,
I love like the unexplored trauma, like
mm,
unresolved trauma with the ghost and like trying to figure out what's going on.
mm.
I
Yeah.
love the ghost stories.
You do. You love
Hmm.
ghost stories so much.
Do enjoy
Me, I
ghosts.
prefer blood and guts and gore and that sort of that sort of thing. But I mean, ghost stories are good too. They're all good. It's all
Yeah.
good stuff.
Oh
Let's
yeah.
see.
I was listening to a podcast earlier today and they were talking about ghost stories and why people love them so much. And it was all based on in the UK, every child had the Usborne Book of Ghosts as a
Mm.
child. This is a newer copy, so I was born as a gift. And if you were raised on the Usborne Book of Ghosts, you love a ghost story. So that's the UK people out there.
I've seen a lot
Highly
of those
recommend.
books, but I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Oh, this one's amazing. There's pictures in here that should not be in here for kids, like the supposed woman who had who combusted, and it's just these weird. It's just really old, terrible sketches,
Yes,
but
it's
Mm.
they're
amazing.
absolutely like 70s and 80s iconic pictures.
Yes.
And if you were raised on this, you were a lover of ghost stories. So I feel like it's got to be an American equivalent of
Mm.
everybody, every child had that, and they are the people who love the
I
ghost
mean,
stories as an adult.
Goosebumps, I guess.
Yeah.
God, yes.
And like scary stories to tell in the dark, but
Mm-hmm.
that's not necessarily only ghosts. There's some weird shit that happens in those
There is some
books.
weird stuff. Yeah. Tales
Oh,
from the Crypt. Did you watch that? I used to watch
yes.
that
Of
with my
course.
dad.
Of
Super
course.
scary.
Yes. Also, like unsolved mysteries. I
Oh, I
really
love that.
loved original unsolved mysteries when it
Yeah,
was
yeah. Great.
so yeah. Oh, but now they're redoing it now. There's new ones, and I
Oh,
just
okay.
watched some on Netflix, and it was like, oh, here's this great story about this guy, and he's a psychic, and he went to a house, and then this ghost attached itself to him. And so he's just got this ghost partner in his head, and they're solving ghost stories. And then the next one was about mutilating cows. And I'm like, I
I
don't,
fell asleep
skip that
watching
one.
those.
Skip that one.
I fell asleep watching those. I thought this is going to be great. This is going to be spooky. Love a bit of spook.
Yeah.
I fell asleep.
No.
Nearly
No.
spilled the coffee all over me.
No.
Not good times.
I need the old ones. I need the ones that gave Matthew McConaughey his start in acting. Those are so horrible, those old episodes, but I love them.
Do you think
Oh,
you ever watched? Was there something that you watched as a kid that was horror and you shouldn't have watched it at that age? Like I watched Child's Play when I was 9 years old.
I've seen
So
that. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I think there were a lot, like my dad really liked horror, so like that's what we would be watching. I remember watching like 13 Ghosts and
Oh
like
yes.
I don't know, just like a lot of like weird stuff. Like Dune was kind of weird if you've seen like the
oh,
original,
I
but
love
like
the original Dune.
it's kind
So
it's like
creepy.
it's a little campy, but it's also like it's just like a little creepy with the special effects.
Yes.
Um
It's the cod
and
piece.
hmm?
It's
You
the
can't
cod
go
piece.
wrong
Sting's
with a
cod
cod
piece.
piece. And also there was that small dog that was in. It was
Yeah.
it's just his
The
dog was
Baron
there.
freaked me out. My brother used to watch it pretty much on repeat on VHS. Yeah. And the Baron in the original one really creeped me out. So
That's what I'm thinking of. The band is very, very scary.
Mm.
it's
Yeah.
horrible. I was really nervous going to see the remix to see if it was actually going to freak me out again, but it's not. It's not bad actually. It's not bad.
No, no, it's pretty good.
Childhood
Mm.
trauma's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. I need the third one to come out. I'm
I
very
Eventually.
can't
excited.
believe there's another one. I don't know why
I
I thought
know.
it was just two,
I thought it
but
was just two, too. And then we went
yeah.
to see it, and I was like,
Oh,
wait
so
a
there's
minute.
not just two. Got it. Yeah.
Wait a
I think
minute.
isn't there just there's like 5 books? I know that there was going to be a new one, another one, just purely because the husband has all of the books.
Yeah, but like, don't. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Don't read past like book two, because book three, when he like, there's a worm god, and he's like, he is a worm, but he's also like,
Mhm.
don't. You can skip that one. Don't read.
They've been at the spice a bit too much. Oh, wink.
Just get past. Just get no, no. Oh my god! How did we start talking about Dune? What an amazing conversation this is. Okay. Getting back on track, but it also could be kind of Dune-ish. Sure. Do you practice any sort of witchcraft yourself? Are you a Bene Gesserit?
I do not practice witchcraft.
Do you have a box that causes pain?
I don't.
Do you want
I
one?
don't. Uh, that box was terrifying. So when they zoomed in on the hand, that was scary. I'm okay.
So like we have a book club chat, and we're chatting all the time, and I feel like everyone in that book club chat is they practice some sort of like green witchery or something, and that's not ever been something that I've like been super into. I'm not like a believer in things. So I haven't really experienced any of that, but like, you know, are you with
No,
me in the non
I am
witchy?
I am not magical, but I think I I mean it would be cool. And I think the most I have is like crystals, and I think I'll
Mm,
like,
that's
you know, carry some crystals with me if I'm
yeah.
like feeling particularly stressed about something. If I have like an exam, I'm thinking like in school, I'll have my crystals with me. But that's the extent, yeah.
Mm.
Unfortunately, I guess.
I mean, there's still time.
There is time. I can always, dabble.
You
Maybe
can.
for book two.
Yeah. I mean, you need to research for book
I
two.
do.
So
I should have done way more research, I guess. I should
yeah,
have
yeah.
started
It might be
practicing.
untapped. My aunt picked up a set of tarot cards once. Oh no, she was given a set of tarot cards when she was a child. Didn't know anything about tarot, but she could read them perfectly and predicted some pretty
Wow.
terrifying things.
Oh no.
So it could just be you might if
True.
you are a believer. I'm massively skeptical about everything, but that's
I
just
am
me
I am
being an old
also
person.
skeptic, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's what makes horror fun for me is like, perhaps, perhaps not. Which is why I love horror.
Potential,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's nice to have the
Potential is
Yeah.
potential.
terrifying.
Yes.
hmm
Which is why horror set in ghost stories, especially set in like
That's exactly why I love a ghost
domestic
story.
places,
hmm
much scarier than in an asylum. Like, oh, whatevs, I'm not going to go to an asylum. That's not scary. But if the boiling kettle or, a pan of boiling water is going to fly across the room in my kitchen, then I'm going to freak the shit out.
Yeah. That's pretty, yeah.
Yeah,
Being hit by boiling water would be terrifying, I think, whether it
that's
was a
fair.
ghost who did it or, a psycho
Anyone.
killer. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
anyone.
what's scarier, a poltergeist in your kitchen or the mad monk in an abbey? Poltergeist in your kitchen. It's the invasion of the domestic space.
That is
That
terrifying.
is that is why people love ghost stories, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because like you're supposed to feel safest there, and then
Mm,
you are
can't.
not.
Can't because there's a poltergeist who's
Yeah.
is the poltergeist brewing tea or were you brewing
Yes.
tea and it influenced the tea?
Both. Both. We're going to sit down, we're going to have a cuppa, and we're going to come to an agreement that they can haunt every Sunday, Tuesday, and every other Wednesday. But the rest of the
Mm.
time, they've got to leave me alone.
It just sounds like you have a new roommate. It doesn't sound like a
That's
haunting.
yeah.
If the better start paying rent's all I'm saying.
Mm. Mm.
Hmm. Okay, let's get back. Let's get back to Brewed with Love and let's venture into Bishop
I
Brews.
can't help it. It's got the word brooding, and I'm really wanting
I
a
know,
cup of
I know.
tea.
Yeah, she did that to you. I think she did it to you on purpose too, I'm pretty
It's
sure.
witchcraft.
Yes. See, you do know witchcraft. You have powers. You do. So the summary describes a memory wiping tonic that's at
hmm
Bishop Brews. So, like, are all the tonics similar to that, or is like this the one that was going to save the business, and everything else is just like, hey, make your skin radiant and like,
Yeah, this was the special one. Not all tonics are like that. The problem is that Sage thinks she's a better witch than she is, and is like trying to create a tonic from scratch and um is failing. And what was stolen was one of her failed tonics.
oh
So
God, what?
it's
Oh. Do they know that I mean, don't answer that because it's probably a spoiler, but like, did they know that it was a failure and now they're just gonna go and mess stuff up? Or,
I don't
oh,
Hair
know.
will sprout from all
ah,
places. You know hair will sprout from all places.
maybe that's the plan. And then you have to go back to Bishop Brews and get something to tame all your random
Mhm,
hairs.
mhm,
Maybe
mhm.
it's a scheme. Maybe we're putting a lot
Maybe.
more into Brood with Love than
I
we
think we
should be.
I think we're creating a business plan that's untenable here.
I think we are.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
follow us. Listeners, do not we're not business people. We
I
would
I
tank
do
your
hope there's a
business.
sign in Bishop Brews as like says no love potions or something like that.
You are not supposed to brew love potions, I believe. So like that is yeah, uh a tricky thing. I think I think there will be some sort of change though. I don't know. I can't tell.
Can we have
Mmm.
a necromantic potion? This potion will raise the dead.
No, no, no.
Oh,
We aren't that cool. Sorry.
Uh,
dang it.
save that for your horror spinoff.
Yes.
It will take place in the same universe, but it will be terrifying beyond all reason. And we will be there for it.
I'm
Uh,
assuming as well that because her surname's Bishop, she's related to a Salem witch trials bishop, perhaps?
I mean, perhaps, but that's not explored in the book. But I do like the last
Ooh,
name Bishop. But
mm,
it's a
we can,
classic witchy
hmm.
name. I love it.
It
it
is.
is.
It's a very good witchy name.
Yeah, I love it. There's also well, I can't say, but and there's another YA romantasy that has a character with a witchy name. So that I've been working on.
Ugh, ugh, you'll have to tell
Oh,
us secrets when we stop recording. That's the
Yes.
best. That's the best part of these interviews is learning all the secret things afterward. And we're like, we swear we won't tell anyone. We're actually very good at keeping those kind of secrets. So hopefully, hopefully something good will happen. So okay, what kind of tonic would you get if you went to
Hmm.
Bishop Brews?
Probably some sort of like energizing tonic. Like I need like an energizing bunny like type of endless energy, endless productivity. I don't know. I feel like I'm always on the struggle bus.
Mm.
coffee that works.
Literally, yeah. Just like a mist and then I'm like refreshed and ready and
Oh,
like good for 20
that
years.
would be
That would be
so
good. Just
nice.
nice spray. And not
Mm-hmm.
only does it give you energy, you've got glowing skin as well.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
you like you're ready to go. Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. It'll
Oh,
tame frizzy hair. Need
mm-hmm.
that.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would be amazing. I can imagine Amanda's as well would actually give her the perfect eyebrow every morning as
Yeah,
well.
it would be great. It would be great. Although, I
Yeah.
mean, like I I don't know though. Would it give me the eyebrows that like suit my mood for the day? Would it set
Hmm.
the tone for the day? Would it
Hmm.
give me angry eyebrows if I'm ready to like take on the world?
You might get like a Ming the Merciless type thing going on.
I could. Ugh, there's so many things. So that I would need that tonic. I would need the special eyebrow tonic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I need. That's what I need in my life. Then I wouldn't have to draw them on every day, and it would be so convenient.
I'm so distraught that like witchcraft, actual proper full-on witchcraft like brewed with love doesn't really like, I can't just go down the shop to the apothecary and buy this. It's
Right.
devastating. Why does it have to be in fiction?
Yeah. There's a cream that will like instantly fix blemishes
Oh,
that I have in Brood of Love, and it's like you just boop and then it's gone like forever, like right away.
that would be so good.
You know.
That must have
It's
been so satisfying to sit down and go, you know what? This is what I want in life. I'm going to manifest it, but unfortunately, I'm manifesting it for fictional characters. But
yeah.
maybe,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you never
Maybe.
know.
Oh,
No.
so
I feel like Bishop Bruce has everything you need. It's definitely a one-stop shop.
good. Mm.
I wish I could go.
Yes, I want to go there too.
Yeah.
We need a girls' day out, shopping day
Yeah, that'd
at
be
Bishop
great.
Brews. Let's do it.
Hmm.
Be there. Okay. So we've talked about lots of cutesy things and lots of horror things, but there's something that I want to ask you about. I want to ask your like advice because of your career outside of being an author. You're also a lawyer
I am.
and you help homeless youth and like I'm sure a lot of them, at least like hmm, everything going on in the United States today is absolutely terrible. And like in my state where I am right now, like we've been dealing with book bans and hate groups that are targeting like specifically POC and LGBTQ youth and
Yeah.
those books, and it just makes rage happen, and it's really hard to be a librarian at this time when people are coming into the library and telling you that you're a pedophile and that you're a child groomer, and you're like, I just want you to read books. That's all. Like everybody should be able to see themselves in a book. Like just, back off. But like what do you have any advice for other authors, for librarians, for booksellers, for book lovers, or like anyone else on how to deal with this just absolute shit that is going on right now? Or like how can we support these types of people and, you know, without without being called a child groomer?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely don't have all of the answers, but I do think there are a few ways that you could get involved because there's just so much going on and I mean, book bans are, as you said, like horrendous and running rampant. But I think like just supporting the authors whose books are banned is like obviously a first step. And you know, you can donate to books, donate to organizations like grassroots organizations that are trying to challenge censorship of books, or like even, you know, volunteer. And then just like speaking up. I think speaking up and speaking out is a way to challenge anything, especially censorship. And yeah, just like being vocal about it and like keep on helping readers that like really do need to see themselves in those books because they're the ones that are like obviously the most affected. And you know, they despite the bans, I think like they still deserve obviously they still need to see themselves in stories. So um I would say any way you can is to like try to get a book in the hands of a young reader. Um, yeah. I wish I had more answers, but I don't. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what, we try to do. I am a librarian, and that's like it was really painful earlier, or I guess in I don't know when this episode is exactly going to release, and we're at the very end of the year right now, so it might be coming out in a few hours. So earlier this year, like my
Within the window of
yes,
2024.
yes,
Okay.
my library director was fired because she wouldn't move books from,
Mm,
like, she wouldn't do it, and so
mm,
she was fired for that, and that's really hard. She was like my mentor, and now she's gone, and it's hard to continue the fight when like your leaders are
yeah.
disappearing. But it was really horrible, and I hate it, and it's just like it just makes I don't I don't tend to have a lot of tears. I don't really have much of a soul. I'm dead inside, but like I just want to cry sometimes. Like it's
Yeah.
just books. It's just books. It's just people who actually exist
Yeah.
in real life. Like
Hmm.
we're here. They
It, it's
they are
it's
here.
absolutely no consolation, but as an outsider, because obviously being in the UK and seeing the news that comes out of the US about these book bans and
Yeah.
about the bigotry and the hatred, like you sit there and go, what the actual fuck? Let people read a book. If you don't want to read a book about
Just
lesbian
don't.
witches, well,
Just don't.
firstly, what's wrong with you? But secondly, that's fine. Just don't.
Um,
If you want to
yeah.
read June over something else, then I'm not stopping you. You read that book. You read what you want. Curate your own reading list. Don't force your reading list on somebody else. And it's just absolutely mental. Um, I would I don't know about following authors on social media and making sure that you do book reviews and
Hmm.
liking book reviews. Even liking social media posts helps the algorithms for the authors as well. And it might not be that you can afford to purchase the book, so you use their libraries, but make
Right.
sure that you also get in touch with libraries and ask for the
Yeah,
books to be
I
to
will buy you
get in.
anything that you ask to put on my shelves, because
Yeah.
if you're asking for it, someone else is going to ask for it too. Especially when I go, "Oh my god, look at this book that we just got. You need to read it," and then shove it at people. It's fine. I'm shoving it books at people in a nice way.
I always think you need to make hatred's so loud. It's too loud. I've had to have this conversation with my child about how voice negative voices are so loud. And I think but positivity can pester. And we're good at pestering. And we're good
Ooh.
at, being quietly there and quietly supporting, but also, it pushes in the background. And it is following people on social media, is liking their posts, is reviewing it, and is telling authors, especially. I love telling authors how much I've enjoyed their books, because I kind of think I might be the one thing that's made their day if they're having a really shitty day and they're like wanting to give up. Me putting a post on saying I've really enjoyed this book might
Yeah,
make them think, well, okay, I'll push on my word count again, and yeah, pester with positivity.
I
Don't
love
be.
Pester with positivity is
Yeah,
very.
that's
that. I've
my
like
that's
never
my
heard that, but
advice.
that's great. Yeah.
Pester with positivity, because
I feel like it needs to be a shirt.
it does, it does, and it helps things like library, like we're saying with libraries. If you're going to libraries and saying, "I want this book," eventually that book is going to go on the shelf, and eventually that book's going to get into somebody's hands, and it could get into the right person's hand, and it could change their lives. You don't know which book's going to do that. You don't know which author's going to do that. So
That is
yeah.
true.
And I think, Shelley, it's really wonderful that as a person of color, as a member of the queer community as well, you are not letting those negative voices stop you from creating art and getting it
Yeah.
out there. And BTW, the cover of Brewed with Love, is absolutely mwah, stunning. I know you
It's
didn't draw it, but I'm
cute.
going to shout out about it because it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
I was blown away when I saw it. I literally gasped. I was so shocked. It was just like I could not have asked for a prettier cover for the book at all. So I am amazed.
It's going to stand out on shelves. It
I
really
hope
Because it's
is.
so.
such a beautiful color. I can't wait
Yeah.
until I get my copy on at the library so I can put it on display and be like, oh,
Yay.
look at this.
And then you
Yay.
take a picture and you put it on social media and you tag the author and
Yes.
then you make sure the algorithm knows that it exists.
Yes. And then I take the book and I put it into the hands of a child, not a child, a teenager, or whoever wants to read it. It doesn't matter. But here,
Very
read
true.
this book. Read this book. One of my favorite things about being a librarian.
That's
Read
really
this.
cool.
Oh my God. It's so good.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So that's like the end of our
Oh,
questions that we have. But
so
every,
fast.
I know, right? Every episode of Fictional Hangover, we play Would You Rather. And
Okay.
so it would not be an episode of Fictional Hangover if we didn't play at least one question of Would You Rather. And we had to take everything from the summary of the book because we're not being spoilery. So this is what we've come up with. Claire, do you want to ask our Would You Rather question?
I will. Based on the summary of the book, would
Hmm.
you rather work with your crush to save your family's business or solve a mysterious robbery?
Okay.
Ooh.
I would say, is this crush an ex? Because if so, I would rather solve a mystery. I would rather solve the robbery. But if not, and they're just like a cute crush that I just met, then yeah, I'm totally down to
The beauty of
work
the
at the
would you rathers are you are the lord and master of
Okay.
your answer, so you can
Yes.
interpret it however you want.
Okay,
So this
so
crush could actually turn into something more if you wanted it to, or not.
well, yeah, yeah. Okay, let's do it. Let's work with the crush at the apothecary. I feel like lots of fun shenanigans are to be had.
I can just imagine the montage of like standing over a big cauldron brewing something up and something else is brewing on the
Oh,
outside.
mm.
Mmm.
If there isn't a mortar and pestle moment where they're grinding it and they kind of
There's
look up.
definitely a modern pet.
Good.
Yes, there's definitely
Good.
some in
Good.
the
We need that.
book.
We need that. Oh, I'm so excited. And my mind is already springing forward to when we eventually cover this one on the show and we have the book and we have to stage it. I'm going to get out the husband's mortar and pestle. I'm going to get it out. It's going to be right there.
Do
Oh,
it.
it's going to
You
be
better
so
make a note. We will
Yes.
forget.
We
We're
will
terrible.
forget it. We will.
We're terrible for we'll say something when we're recording, and then five
Yes.
minutes later go, "What did we decide
What did
on
we
again?"
decide?
No clue.
And we all
No
and like
idea.
and there's going to be some time in between because this book hasn't even come out yet, and we have to let it be out for a while before we completely spoil it because it's not
Damn
fair.
you, statute of
That's
limitation.
fair.
It's not fair. It's not fair to immediately spoil a great book. You got to
That's
let people
fair.
read it first. Yeah.
That's fair.
Um
Give them like a day.
yeah, just a day or two. It's fine.
That's
If you didn't
permission
read it by
right
now,
there.
that's your own fault. You didn't purchase it. You didn't pre-order it.
You didn't pester the
Sorry.
library about getting it in.
With positivity.
Yeah.
Pester with positivity, Claire.
Yeah.
It's your own tagline.
TM.
um, what what are you gonna do, Claire? Are you
I'm
gonna
going to
answer this question?
solve a mysterious robbery, but I'm going to use magic to do it because I really have this.
Ooh,
I want to get like some like magic dust that if you put it on your hand and go and blow,
Mhm.
realizing this is an audio medium, and then highlights like the clues, like you'll highlight fingerprints. And it's very video gamey,
Ooh.
that, isn't it? Or I might
okay.
like highlight something like a letter that's been, you know, where the imprint is, and it highlights the
Mm.
words in the letter. So
Yes.
yeah, I'm going to use magic to solve a mysterious robbery.
I
I
think
think
you're in luck. That is what Sage does.
Yes.
yes.
My all my hearts and desire and dreams are coming true with this book right now. I'm so happy.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm obviously gonna solve the mystery too. I mean, I got to. I want my family's business to succeed, obviously, but it's not gonna succeed if we don't solve the mystery.
True.
So you gotta do both.
You see, we've got a terrible business plan in people having bad tinctures and ointments that grows
Right.
hair in random places just to sell them another one. So we really shouldn't save the family business. We should be solving
No.
the mysterious robbery.
Mm.
We should change our business plan and not be so nefarious with our
Yes.
magic.
True.
Which one of us is going to work for the competitor and sabotage? No, no, no,
Oh,
don't
wait.
do that.
Oh.
Don't do that.
It'd have to be me though, because I'm always the villain. It'd have to be me. Or maybe I robbed the business to begin with, and then I'm helping you solve the mystery. I'm just
Mystery
throwing you off
solved.
the
You're the
track.
robber.
I'm
If there's a
sorry.
mysterious robbery, I know it's going to be you.
I'm sorry. I'm always the villain. I can't help it.
It's the way you just stand there in the corner going, "Mwah, mwah."
Twisting my mustache
It gives it
because I've
away.
used a tonic to grow a handsome mustache.
Right. Right.
Because of course I have.
Yeah, of
But my
course.
eyebrows are impeccable
Yes.
with
That's
my
what
mustache.
matters.
That is what
Yeah.
matters. Eyebrows are important.
Yeah.
What?
What the heck's going
I
on?
don't know. It's amazing. Okay.
So confused.
Well, it's good. It's good that we're at the end here because we are going off the rails and it's fine. But what is something that you want readers to take away from this book? Last question.
I think I really want them to just leave feeling warm and fuzzy
Mm,
and feeling like they just had a great time. Um, that's like kind of the point of the book is to just like leave you with like a good feeling, a good vibe. There's so much like, as we saying, so much going on in the world right now, and I think kind of just like being able to be like swept away in this like com comfy, cozy, little mystery, is, just like I'm hoping people can find some reprieve there and like find a little like breath of fresh air in the book.
mm.
So that's what I'm hoping for. Yeah, it comes out January 14th, so we're almost 2 weeks out. Can't wait.
Wow.
Very excited.
hmm
Very excited.
Yes.
Nerve-wracking. Exciting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, is there anything else that you're excited about? Sorry, I said last question, but that was a lie. Is there anything else that you're excited about? It doesn't have to be related to the book, although we are all very excited about it. And also tell us where we can find you on social media so we can share with
Yes.
positive, what is
Pester
it?
with positivity.
Yes, we can pester you with positivity online.
Yeah, so as I'm honestly just looking forward to the book coming out. It's been a long time coming because, you work on a book and then it's like a year later it finally comes out. So it's like I am so excited. You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram. My handle is the same on both. It is Shelly_P_writes. And that's it. That's me. I post all the time. All the time.
When I'm not writing, you'll find me on Instagram.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We're really looking forward to the book. We're really looking forward to dragging you back on after it's come out. It's been out for at least a day. We'll invite you back on to talk about
A
it in
day, whole
all.
last hour.
Yes.
Jeez.
We need to talk to you in lots of spoilery detail
I would
about
love
this
that.
book.
That sounds fun.
Yay.
Fantastic. All right.
Yay.
Well, that brings us to the end of this new and indie spotlight episode of Fictional Hangover. Thanks so much for joining us, Shelly. You're the best.
Thank you so much for having
Yay.
me. This was so fun.
Yay! Thank goodness.